Hello, I'm Dawn Hitt, Education Counselor for Buckley Air Force Base. Today we're going to cover several areas included within APES, NCOPES, and Senior NCOPS. Our Education Office email address and phone number are on the slide. Please feel free to contact us at any time. Some of the questions that you may have will be with testing for CLEP and Dantes, CDC, PME, anything with the defense language tests, degree goals, and information within CCAF to include your progress report, tuition assistance, and the AU ABC program. We can also help you with areas if you are going to work on an associate's, bachelor's, or master's program. If you are interested in any of the commissioning programs, the GI Bills to include the Montgomery and Post 9/11, and the transfer of education benefits. It is important that you understand the difference in accreditations when selecting a college or university. National and regional accreditation are recognized by the Department of Education and the DoD. National and regional accreditation are the only two that you can use military tuition assistance for. CCAF, the Community College of the Air Force, is a regionally accredited school. There are 6 regional accrediting bodies. None of them are any better than the other. It's just how the United States is broken down. One thing that you need to understand is the difference between national and regional accreditation. So when we're looking at accreditation, most folks think that national accreditation is actually higher than regional accreditation, but it's actually the other way around. Regional accreditation is the highest accreditation a school can get. It's important to know this because if you attend a nationally accredited school and then try to go to a regionally accredited school, your credits are not going to transfer. We see this sometimes with the Community College of the Air Force if you attend a nationally accredited school, thinking that your courses are going to count toward your CCAF degree. So it is important that you understand the difference between the two. We've all heard the stories about folks who have gone to a college, they have 81 credit hours, and then they try to transfer to another school, but they only received 30 when they transferred. Most of the time they're trying to go from one degree to another that has nothing to do with each other, like a liberal arts degree to an engineering degree. The credits just don't translate. Or they're trying to go from a nationally accredited school to a regionally accredited school. The credits will not transfer over from national to regional most of the time. It is really important that you understand that some colleges and universities also have specialized accreditation. One of the ones best known is ABET accreditation. If you are trying to get an engineering degree, you want to go to a school that has the ABET accreditation. Psychology programs, aeronautic programs, business programs all have specialized accreditations. So you want to take a look at the link held on this slide to see what specialized accreditations are available. We're going to go over your CCAF degree requirements. The degree itself has 64 semester hours. Just by getting through basic training, you got 4 credit hours in physical education. When you completed tech school training, you received credits within your technical core and technical electives. 24 semester hours are required to complete that area. You need 6 semester hours in LMMS, which stands for Leadership, Management, and Military Studies. When you attend Airman Leadership School, you actually get 6 credit hours to fulfill that area. However, if you're trying to get done your CCAF degree before going through ALS, there are CLEP and Dantes tests that you can take to fulfill that area. There are 4 different tests you can take, and you just have to pass 2 of them. You need 15 semester hours in program electives. Program electives are basically a catch-all. If you took 2 math courses, one would fulfill your math requirements, the other one would go into program electives. The same thing for your humanities requirements. If you took 2 humanities courses, one would go into the humanities requirement, the other one would go into program electives. Now, when talking about the general education requirements, there are 15 semester hours. Oral communication, which is speech, written communication, which is your English composition or your basic English 101 course. 3 semester hours in mathematics, humanities, and social science. You have to take college algebra or higher to complete the mathematics requirements. Your social sciences are your psychologies, sociologies, government, and histories. Your humanities are your art and music appreciation, philosophy, religion, or a second language. Now, all 15 semester hours can be completed by taking CLEP and Dante's tests. However, I do not recommend that you CLEP or Dante's out of the English requirement. English 101 is a basic course that helps you understand how to write proper college English papers. We do not write properly in the military. We write in bullet statements, and that is not the way to write an English paper. You also will learn how to reference things properly. Is it MLA or APA formatting? It is important that you understand these, because when you go to write a proper college paper, if you don't reference things properly or get proper references, you may be charged with plagiarism, which can be an automatic dismissal from a college or university. So English is one course that I highly recommend that you take. I promise you'll thank me after it's all done. If you are in the 2017 catalog, there is actually a change that is different from any of the other catalog years. If you're in the 2017 catalog, you have the choice of 3 semester hours in oral communication and 3 semester hours in written communication. Or you can skip the oral communication and just take 6 hours in written communication. That's up to you if you want to choose to move to the 2017 catalog. You just need to email our office and let us know. When you take courses for your CCF degree, it's important that you look at the Civilian Course Conversion Table, also known as the CIV-CCT. It is the student's responsibility to make sure that any course they're taking for their CCF degree is on that course conversion table. Unfortunately, we do see sometimes where students will have taken a class thinking that it counts, and it doesn't. At that point, there's not anything we can do. So please make sure that you always check the conversion table when you register for a class. Now, what do you do once you get your CCF degree? We have this amazing program, the AU-ABC program, which stands for Air University Associate to Bachelor Cooperative. And all that means is that colleges and universities have made an agreement with Air University, which is what CCF falls under, that they will accept some or all of your CCF degree. Depending on which category it is, category 1, 2, or 3, category 1 meaning that you are CCF complete, and that they will accept all of your credit from CCF, and you will have no more than 6 credit hours to complete a bachelor's degree. Category 2 is that you're not CCF complete, they'll help you complete it, and then you'll have no more than 6 credit hours to complete a bachelor's degree. Category 3 is they're going to accept up to 45 credit hours from your CCF degree towards a bachelor's. The reason I love this program is when I got out of the military, I had my CCF degree and a civilian associate's, but still had 3 years of schooling to finish a bachelor's degree, because we didn't have this program when I got out. When you look it up in the Virtual Education Center page, it is listed according to your AFSC, but you are not locked into your AFSC. The reason it's listed this way is there are certain AFSCs that are going to have availability that others don't. If I'm an F-16 mechanic, I'm going to have the option for an aviation maintenance or an aeronautics degree. But if I'm at security forces, I'm not going to have those options. I don't have the hands-on knowledge to be able to pass that program. The least amount I've ever seen for one AFSC is 133 options. Usually there's 150 or more. So please take a look at the options available to see if there's a degree that is right for you to help you finish your bachelor's degree in a more timely fashion. One of the benefits of being in the military is that we get tuition assistance. Every year, the government gives us $4,500 starting on the 1st of October through the 30th of September. Come the 1st of October, whether you've used any of that money or not, it just resets to $4,500. When you take classes, we will pay up to $250 per semester hour, or $166.67 if the school is on the quarter-hour system. I really, really, really want to get you guys to understand how important this money is. If you've been in the military for 10 years and you've never touched your tuition assistance, you've basically turned down a $45,000 bonus. None of us would turn down $45,000 from any other corporation. So don't do that with your tuition assistance. Every year, take advantage of one of the benefits that you've earned by wearing the uniform. Supervisors are required to approve or disapprove all TA requests. Tuition assistance is not permitted for airmen with a UIF, failed PT test, referral EPRs, or on a control roster. So basically, if you get in trouble, you're not going to be able to use tuition assistance. The window for MIL-TA is no earlier than 45 days and no later than 7 days prior to the start of the term. As we all know, AFIs have a little bit of wiggle room, but this is one rule that's kind of set in stone. If there are unusual circumstances that you fall under, that you could not put your TA in within that window, please let us know. But it would have to be a really good reason, okay? We have to verify everything to be able to break this rule. Be aware of the drop and withdrawal dates for your school. Those are your responsibility. A drop is completely different than a withdrawal, and unfortunately, we see students and advisors who use those words interchangeably. A drop is, I've dropped from the course within the drop add date specified by the university. It's as if I never signed up for the class and I have no financial obligation to the school or to the military. A withdrawal, you usually get a W grade, which has no effect on your GPA, but you will be paying somebody back. And it may be all of the tuition assistance or a partial refund of the tuition assistance. It depends on the school's policy. Please be aware that military tuition assistance does not pay for any fees. If your school charges a distance learning fee, a technology fee, a library fee, a parking fee, or even an athletic fee, we're not going to be able to pay for that. There are some states where it is required by state legislature that the school differentiates between what is tuition assistance and what are the fees. So it may be the school's policy that they do have to set that aside. Please be aware of that when you pick a school, that if there are fees, you will have to pay for it. One of the other benefits of being in uniform is Air Force Cool, which is the credentialing program. You can gain a certificate or license through Air Force Cool. One of the great things about this is you can get as many certificates or license within $4,500. So if you go get one certificate and it only costs $1,500, you can go get another one and another one until you've used all $4,500. You are limited to $4,500 for your life cycle. This money does not reset like military tuition assistance. So make sure that the certificate or license that you're getting is something that's going to help set you up for success both in the military and in the civilian sector once you decide to get out. There is a $2,750 cap for one certificate, meaning that you can't go get a certificate that costs $3,000. But that $2,750 still leaves you money to go get another certificate or license if you choose. This is another area where I encourage you to use the money that is there for you. This is one of the benefits that you've earned by wearing the uniform. E7s and above have a different area of Air Force Cool that is permitted to them. You have leadership certificates and license that the listed lower ranking do not have available. So when you go onto the Air Force Cool website, please check the box for leadership and it'll show you a whole nother area of certificates and licenses that are available to you. One of the new rules that we just got with the new AFI is that if you do not pass or complete a certificate or license, you do have to refund the money back. This is effective as of the 26th of June, so please keep that in mind. Supervisors are required to approve or disapprove Air Force Cool certificates as well, just like tuition assistance. Unfortunately, our office does not own Air Force Cool. We can help you to point you in the right direction or to help you find certificates or licenses for your AFSC. But because we do not own this program, you do have to contact the Air Force Cool folks at Maxwell Air Force Base. Their email address is on the slide, so if you run into any issues, you can contact them directly. When you're looking at certificates and license on the Air Force School website, please make sure to look at the expiration for each of the certificates or licensing. Some have a life cycle of 6 months. There will be others that are eligible to be renewed in 5 years. You're going to want to take a look at that when you're picking your certificates or license. If I have a year left in the military and my certificate is good for 5 years, I might want to go ahead and pursue that. But if the certificate is only good for a year, I might want to wait a little bit closer to getting out of the military before I take that particular certificate or license. One of the reasons that a lot of us go into the military is to be able to earn our education benefits, not just tuition assistance or Air Force School while we're in, but also the GI Bill once we get out. There are actually 6 different GI Bills. The 2 we normally discuss are the Montgomery GI Bill, or the MGIB, and then the Post 9/11. The MGIB is Chapter 30. There is also Chapter 31, Vocational Rehabilitation and Employment, Chapter 33, which is the Post 9/11, Chapter 35, which is for the spouses or children of folks who are 100% disabled, POW, or MIA, and then 1606 and 1607, which are specific to Guard and Reserve. The 2 we're going to cover today are the Montgomery GI Bill and the Post 9/11. When you came into the military, one of the papers that you signed was the DD Form 2366. And you either said, yes, please take $100 a month over 12 months for a total of $1,200 out of my paycheck during the first year I was in the military. Or you signed the paperwork saying, no, please don't take that money. The majority of us had the money taken out. Most of the time, I only see folks who denied that GI Bill because they had family members or friends who were already in the military and told them not to take it. But there is a place for the Montgomery GI Bill, and I'm going to go over some examples where the Montgomery GI Bill is the better benefit in just a second. The Post 9/11 you will gain automatically after being on active duty for 36 months. With the Montgomery GI Bill, you always pay the school and the VA reimburses you over the time frame of the class. With the Post 9/11, you never see the bill. It automatically gets sent to the school directly from the VA. Transfer of Education Benefits, or TEB, falls under the Post 9/11 only. The Montgomery GI Bill is not transferable. You must have served 6 years on active duty to be able to be eligible to transfer your education benefits to your spouse or children. It is important that you know that they have to be in DEERS for you to be able to transfer to them. Your children must be under the age of 23 at the time of transfer, and they must have used their benefits before they turn 26. That's going from 25 to 26, not 26 to 27. As these are your benefits, you can change or revoke them at any time. You do not need to be in uniform to be able to make adjustments. When you go to do the transfer of benefits, if you run into any issues, you will contact the Total Force Service Center to get those issues resolved. Now I'm going to show you an example of using the Montgomery GI Bill versus the Post 9/11. You're enrolled in 2 courses over an 8-week term, 1 class in residence, with a tuition cost of $400 per credit hour. At 6 credit hours, that puts your tuition cost at $2,400. Now remember, you're still in uniform. With the Montgomery GI Bill, you can use tuition assistance. We're going to pay $250 per semester hour at 6 credit hours. That's $1,500. That leaves you with a balance of $900. This is where you would use the Montgomery GI Bill with top-up. Top-up means that it's going to cover the additional costs. You're not going to get anything extra. The top-up will then reimburse you over the 8-week term. The nice thing about the Montgomery GI Bill is it is prorated according to the cost of what you're actually using. Right now, the going rate for the Montgomery GI Bill is $2,000. If you're only using $900, that's actually less than 2 weeks of your Montgomery GI Bill. So you can see where this would benefit you to use the MGIB. Now, for the same example, if you use the post 9/11, you don't have to pay anything to the school because the VA is going to pay your tuition, all $2,400, because you cannot use TA and the post 9/11 at the same time. The big difference on this one is the post 9/11 is going to charge you the length of the term. For this, it's 8 weeks long. So as you can see, the difference between the Montgomery GI Bill at just under 2 weeks versus the post 9/11 at 8 weeks of your benefit. Now you've decided to get out of the military. In the exact same example of you taking 2 classes, 6 credit hours, with your tuition being $2,400, if you use the Montgomery GI Bill, you still have to pay the school up front. And then the VA is going to pay you back the $2,400, but they're going to pay it back to you in the monthly rate of $2,000 a month. So the MGIB pays me $2,000 for the first 4 weeks and $2,000 for the second 4 weeks, so I make $4,000. But remember, you had to pay the tuition up front, so that puts only $1,600 in your pocket. Under the post 9/11, the VA is going to pay your tuition directly to the school. You're still going to get charged 8 weeks worth of benefit, but now you get a housing benefit that goes along with it. Depending on where you're attending school, that is the BAH rate. So for where we live, the BAH rate is $2,100 a month. So I will get $2,100 for the first month and then $2,100 for the second month, putting $4,200 into my pocket. And the tuition was already paid for at $2,400. So that means I've actually made $4,200 with $2,400 being paid to the school. You also get a book or supply stipend. It's $42 and change per semester hour. It usually comes out to about $250 per term with a maximum of $1,000 in a year. The transfer of education benefits is only eligible under the post 9/11. You must have served 6 years to be able to transfer your benefits. At the time of transfer, you have to already have 4 years of enlistment on the books. So if you think about it, if I had to give them 6 to transfer it and then give them another 4, that puts me at 10 years. They did this as a retention tool. Because most of us, if we do 10 years, are going to keep going to 20 because we're halfway to a permanent retirement check. Please keep in mind that this eligibility is different for officers who are ROTC graduates or academy graduates. At this time, spouses fall under the Forever GI Bill. So do you as the member. What that means is if you have months of benefit and are 80 years old, you can still go to school using the post 9/11. Children must be under the age of 23 at the time of transfer, and they must have used their benefit by the time they turn 26. You as the member can change, adjust, or revoke those benefits at any time. So one example that I like to use is in 2011, my husband gave me a month and then each of our boys 1 month, keeping 33 months for himself. In 2014, he retired. In 2018, we got a divorce. He can take that month back from me at any time. I've also had folks who have asked me, my son was able to get a full ride scholarship. Can I take those months of benefit back? Yes, you can. If you have one child that gets a full ride scholarship, you can then take those months back and give them to another child or to your spouse. The important part is that each person have a month before you get out of uniform. If you run into any issues, you have to contact the Total Force Service Center when doing the transfer. There are all kinds of different funding options out there for you. One of the things that people like to talk about is FAFSA. If they say, hey, you need to apply for FAFSA, what they're really saying is do the application because you may be eligible for the Pell Grant. A Pell Grant is just that. It's a grant, meaning if you pass your classes, that's free money. You can use the Pell Grant and tuition assistance at the same time. You can also use Pell Grant and the GI Bills at the same time. You need to go to the FAFSA website, which is the free application for federal student aid. And I have the website on the slide. My recommendation is that you actually use the link through your college or university's website, because there's a school code they're going to have listed that you need to put into the application. That lets the school download your particular application, meaning other schools can't download it. If you get the option for student loans, please, please, please do not take those unless you've talked to a financial aid counselor. Sometimes people don't understand the difference between a subsidized and an unsubsidized loan. And I have personally seen it. One of my best friends went to college. Her parents had both passed away when she was much younger, and she had to pay for school on her own. She took out $50,000 in student loans. That's about average for a 4-year degree. Now, 20 years later, she owes $94,000 because she's been paying interest upon interest upon interest, because she didn't know the difference between subsidized and unsubsidized loans. So please, please, please make sure you talk to somebody before you ever sign for a loan. And really, there's no reason for you to have to sign for a loan when you have so many different options available to you, to include the Pell Grant, the GI Bills, and scholarships. A lot of people don't apply for scholarships because they think, I won't be the one that's selected, but you just never know. Please do the research before you apply for a scholarship. Go with companies that you're familiar with. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Mars Bar. Things that you've heard of and you've used. And companies that you can contact them directly and make sure that the scholarship that you're applying for is actually legitimate. If they are asking you for too much personal information, you probably don't want to go with that scholarship. You can also check your college or university's financial aid page. They will have scholarships that are available listed on there. There's actually several different types of scholarships, to include internal, external, endowment, and private scholarships. So what does all that mean? An internal scholarship means something that the college is offering to their students. It may be specific to a particular program or a specific grouping within the college or university. External scholarships are scholarships that are offered by outside companies. So if you're going to one particular college, they may get scholarships from a company that directly hires from that school. There's also endowment scholarships. Those are scholarships that are usually given by alumni in somebody's name. So if I wanted to do a scholarship in my late husband's name, it would be considered an endowment scholarship. And then there are private scholarships. Those are scholarships that are usually given by different corporations specifically for a particular degree. Anytime you decide to look at a scholarship, go with it in mind that you may be the one selected. You won't know unless you apply. We have testing at Buckley. We do CLEP and Dante's, PME, DLPT, and CDC testing. The CLEP and Dante's testing are proctored by the Community College of Aurora. You can take the test at Buckley or at Community College of Aurora's campus. You will need to register and make an appointment to be able to take the test. Please see the websites on the slide to be able to do that. We offer PME and DLPT testing on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Again, you will need to make an appointment. CDC testing will be done through your unit monitor. If you are one of our Air National Guard or Air Force Reserve members, you may be eligible for Air Force tuition assistance or Air Force School under our funding. Members on Title 10 or Title 32, Section 502 orders could be eligible as long as your orders cover the entire time frame of your course plus 2 weeks. Your PAS code must also start with BU, B6, or B4. If you're not sure, please send us a copy of your orders at our Buckley Education Office email address, and we will be sure to review them and let you know if you are eligible. Thank you. If you have questions, please contact us at the Education Office email address listed in the first slide, or you can contact us by phone 720-847-6675. Have a good day.